Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we're back again with the second war of season 13 and this is a fairly juicy one. So it is a difficult war for me, especially because I'm starting off on path 4 once again, and we have Domino as our first fight with that Unstoppable and Spite, and then we're gonna have Nick Fury. Now for those of you who do not like to watch Quake gameplay, we warned Nick Fury fights are gonna be the second fight, Nick Fury versus Nick Fury, some Nick on Nick violence, and then Nick Fury is gonna get used for the boss fight. All the fights in between after the second fight until the boss will be Quake fights, so you are free to skip to those points, I suppose, if you're not interested. However, you will be missing a lot because there are quite few mistakes and some other things to watch. However, so the first fight against Domino, it is not the most straightforward fight because your idea is not to trigger Spite. Now, there is a way around it, even if you do full evades, but that involves some fairly specific timing. And as we saw there, I did in fact trigger Spite, but I was lucky to get it off from myself quickly enough not to kind of push her past bar power. However, I do make a mistake and I eat a 5-piece to the face. However, stun saves me once again. I'm still at 56%, and since I was max boosted, I am in a fairly decent situation here because we're able to close out this fight within a minute. So we did make a mistake. She caught me and she comboed me. However, that is kind of the reason why you do go full boosts in order not to get completely destroyed if you do happen to make a mistake, which I did. However, this was not an easy fight at all. Anybody who does path 4 and has Domino in the first fight can attest to you that is not an easy fight. Anyways, and now Nick Fury on Aspect of War, Spite node, and all that good stuff. So our game plan here is actually fairly simple. We do not care about his power bar. We do not really care about his charges or anything of the sort. We are going to simply push him to level 3, let him go unblockable, drop our special attacks. Unfortunately, it didn't stun, so he's bound to drop his level 3. But that is the plan, because first of all, level 3 from Nick Fury, while he is in his like undead state, I'd say, like before he has died anyways, doesn't really hit all that hard. As you can see that I lost about 30% of my health, which is not the end of the world. Now I did miss an intercept. He went into the block, so to say my skin, I dropped my level 1 in his block, so he cannot punish that. But at this point we have gotten rid of his first life and we need to basically close this fight out. Now, as we all know, this is where the fight can be extremely dangerous, just because he's about to go unblockable fully, and obviously he's stun immune and he has all of them charges going for him. However, I do manage to bait out this heavy attack from him very efficiently. We can drop a level 1 and that is going to close out the fight. So we didn't even lose the first kind of like life of Nick Fury here. So I'm super happy with how this fight turned out to be. As I have mentioned before, Nick on Nick violence is probably one of my most favorite ways how to deal with that aspect of war, Nick Fury. Just counter him with Nick Fury of my own and use that extra health pool if I have to. And now these fights are already in the next day, and I'm basically boosting to the teeth just because I do intend to finish every single fight in the war within the hour, and there will be some complications with that because it's going to be hard to find teammates who give me energy and stuff like that, and I'm going to end up taking the main boss linked. That was definitely not according to the plan, but we'll see how that works out. So anyways, now we have Magic fight. Now Magic on path 4, there's nothing too tricky about it. She gains extra power gain per debuff on her. However, since we are not really striking her, she has no chance to gain any power via regular means. And we also clock class advantage. That means that she goes down like relatively quickly. 2 sets of aftershocks in, I think. Was it 3? I think it's 2. She's nearly down, and now another one kicks in. She's at 3%. I'm going to drop in heavy towards the end, and the fight is over. But yeah, so far so good in this war. However, not all of it will be so smooth with Quake this time, because I'm doing all of these fights relatively early in the morning. Probably haven't had my morning coffee and morning workout, so my fingers will not behave the way I want them to, but we'll see that with due time. Next fight is Mr. Sinister. Now this node doesn't have anything too crazy on it either. The most notable thing is Strike Back, which again we don't really care about since we're just gonna quake this guy. Neither we care about his ability to heal off our critical hits, because we're not gonna be critical. Well, we're not going to be hitting him, therefore our hits can be critical, so he can heal. And so we have a solid plan here. Like always, just evade all of his attacks, watch his health drain away fairly rapidly, and enjoy the good times. And as you can see, 2 sets in, he's at 50%, so we're dealing about 20 something percent per set of aftershocks, depending how many stacks we can get. And then obviously we do drain his health in between here and there as well while charging heavy attack. So here 50 seconds in the fight, he's at 6% health. I drop my heavy, and that is not to dispatch him, so that's another 50-second fight with Quake. Now if I chose to, if I wanted to, I could have put suicides on to make all of these fights even quicker, but I didn't really feel the need for it, and I will not want to have Suicide Masteries on when I'm going to be using my Nick Fury to fight an Invisible Woman boss, which is the plan. But that being said, we're moving on to the next fight, and next fight is kind of like the middle final fight of this kind of circle thing. I don't even, is it a mini boss? Don't think it is, but it is fairly tricky node combination. Basically the guy can go unblockable every set amount of time. Also he starts off with limited immunity, and so that means he cannot be stunned or have any debuffs on him. And it's the thing is typically also a somewhat annoying opponent to face off. However, Quake loves fighting the thing, because we can evade all of his attacks, so unblockable doesn't matter. The fact that we can't stun him at the beginning of the fight hardly matters, because we can just keep on evading all the attacks, and once the limited immunity wears off, we are free to stun him as a regular fight. And also obviously because Quake is not attacking thing directly, we don't have to worry about his rock stacks and him going unstoppable. And even if he went unstoppable, once again, that's not really a big of an issue for Quake. So here at 16 charges, he's eating quite a bit of damage. Now at this point, he's at 14% health. 1 minute in the fight, he's nearly dead. So once again, a fairly quick and efficient fight with Quake. And I do understand that maybe not everybody finds it enjoyable to watch Quake gameplay. However, when it comes to Alliance War, I will use the champions that are needed, basically the highest possibility of success and not dying in the war for these specific fights. And quite often in my case that will be Quake. If I can bring in some other interesting solutions and options, I will try to do that, but any kind of like serious war, or when I have to deal with these problem fights, problem nodes, because dealing with Mr. Sinister's dominoes, things, so on and so forth, it is not an easy fight. It's as simple as that. And yeah, so I'd much rather prefer not to die and not to fail my team on these. However, here, once again, Domino, this node has Safeguard, which Quake can work around, and this Kinetic Instigator, so basically striking blocks also give power, so I don't really want to be blocking any hits. Now, I did make a mistake there, a small slip-up, because Domino can sometimes be a bit tricky, another small slip-up, so the fight isn't really going perfect for me, because Domino sometimes can be tricky, because your timing has to change every time she throws that double medium hit, because you do have to delay your decks after that, like heavy evade, so on and so forth. So you do need to be fairly on the ball when fighting Domino, because she is not the easiest champ to Quake because of that double hit. And yeah, because sometimes she can mix it in seemingly almost like in the middle of a combo, and it's just a bit odd. So you always have to be careful whenever she whips those pistols out, because your timing is going to have to be different to avoid the consecutive hits after that. But nonetheless, we didn't make any more mistakes. She went down, and obviously we are able to Quake these dominoes purely thanks to Black Widow synergy. And now a few minutes later, I did drop in a few more potions in my Quake, I think. And we're going up against Gladiator Hulk mini boss, and he has Dismay, I believe, or Counter Tactics. Either or, I think it's Counter Tactics. And he's also fully immune, so I have to wait all of the hits. Now in this fight, at some point, my brain is going to take a walk and leave my body behind, because for whatever reason, it's simply not going to register to me that I need to keep adding new inputs to Quake, and once I'm gonna finish evading an attack sequence, I'm just gonna stand there and get comboed. I don't even know why or what I was thinking, or it's more accurately lack thereof any thought process. And yeah, it's not a dropped input, it's definitely me just kind of getting confused a bit. I don't know, because I was clearly thinking about something else while doing this fight, because I use Quake quite a bit and it's fairly kind of natural to me. I don't have to stay 100% focused anymore in majority of the case. But nonetheless, so far we are doing well. 1 minute in the fight, he's halfway down, so we definitely can see that the time is not going to be an issue. Also, we can notice that Gladiator Hulk's AI is like super aggressive. I hardly get any time to build my aftershock charges, which also explains why I'm dealing less damage to him, just because he attacks at me so aggressively. And sometimes it's quite annoying against stun immune aggressive AI, just because, yeah, it lowers your damage output. And here there was a moment where I simply kind of didn't do anything. I don't know why. So I ended up eating a full combo, which is fair to say woke me up. I regained my concentration immediately. I was going, oh. And yeah, so at that point I'm fully focused. There's no more surprise in this fight. I'm like, damn, I messed up this one, thank god I didn't die, kind of thing. And yeah, so I keep on evading everything. He's at 13%, now he's at 7%. Just need to get in one more set of my aftershocks. 1 minute left in the fight, so this is also probably one of the longer Quake fights here. And yeah, the aftershocks expire, he goes down, and at this point I'm much more awake than I was before. Now again, I have to kind of like cut the recording here and ask my teammate to pass me an energy, just to kind of cover the ground to that green goblin. Also at the same time, we were asking if anybody is around and available to take down that warlock mini boss, but only people who were awake had no suitable counters to that guy. So at this point I was like, might need to boost again, but I really did not want to use another set of boosts, and I was just kind of like thinking whether I can take the boss noted, whether I should wait, or what we should do. But at the same time, we're taking down this green goblin, and this green goblin has like a strike back and recovery on it, so if we do strike him, his healing is going to be enhanced, but we don't. And the fact that there is no limber or stun immunity makes him an easy prey for Quake once again. We managed to get up to 19 aftershock charges, which dealt like 8.5k per tick for 3 ticks, so that's like 25.5k there. Not a bad amount of damage for 11 seconds of work. And yeah, so this fight, as you can see, is going down much quicker. 1 minute in the fight and he's at 24%, and now he's gone down to 11%. So yeah, he's at 10% left basically after the first minute of the fight. So this is a twice as fast killing speed, largely due to the fact that he's not stun immune and I can stack my aftershocks more effectively. And yeah, now we have last fight left, and last fight is gonna be dodgy. I'm gonna make several slip ups in this fight. My mind is gonna go AWOL once again, and yeah, it's gonna be much more shady and close than it should be, and it's actually gonna get my heart racing towards the end. And what's worse, it could have been avoided, because me being the arrogant mind that I am in my confidence of my ability to Quake, I did not bother to heal for this fight. I went in with 76% and I was like, yeah, I got this 76% plus big boosts basically equals full health on smaller boosts or something like that. I was rationalizing it in my head. In reality, I was just being cheap. If you play endgame Alliance Wars, don't do that. Don't be cheap. Just heal up. You never know what's going to happen. This fight is a brilliant example where I nearly give a death away just because I was cheap. So here I do eat a full combo. I'm at 39%, he's at 47. I still think everything's fine. Just need to play solid, can't eat too many more attacks. Obviously, don't make any more mistakes. 1 minute in the fight, he's at 33% health. I'm still winning in health department. Everything's chill, everything's cool. Just need to await everything perfectly. Obviously, I am slightly worried just because I didn't heal up. Now, he does catch me with a light attack. However, it only takes 4% of my health, so I'm still not worried. I'm like, it happened, not a big deal. However, here I eat the 3-piece and I'm left at 5%. 5%, however, means Assassin is just behind the corner, so that also means I cannot evade anymore. And now I have to deal with Mysterio when he has 1% and I have 6%. However, my Aftershock does kick in and save me. So this was a close call. If I had eaten one more hit, I'd be dead. If I tried to use Quake's ability to charge heavy attack and evade automatically, I'd probably be dead because Assassin is more than likely present in this fight. So I had to actually drop in a full combo, a level 1, and then luckily that was just about enough to finish off that Mysterio. This fight is as close as it gets and should teach me my lesson for once and for all. But now for the boss fight. So we could not find anybody with suitable champs online to take down that Warlock. And now I was looking, the boss is Invisible Woman, and I'm like, I can probably take her noted. I mean, Nick Fury has a really good matchup, and I was like, I don't really want to boost up again, and we had a somewhat decent lead in this war, so I was like, I can probably take her noted. And yeah, so we went in the fight. So I got hit obviously on purpose. I also added a special start 1 boost just because I do plan to get to 2 level 1s as quickly as possible. Hence, I started this fight off by eating a combo because that gave me a bunch of power. And then obviously I could drop my level 1 and then 1 more. And we're basically in business. We have 18 charges. We're fully unblockable. And we have these massive bleeds and we can start absolutely destroying this Invisible Woman. So for those who do not know why Nick Fury has such a great matchup against Invisible Woman, because if you are 5 charges and a bow, basically you ignore all evade and invisibility and your attacks cannot miss. So it means Invisible Woman is kind of like a flat out vanilla opponent, plus those massive bleeds are incredible damage source and you are able to deal with opponent extremely quickly. And yeah, additionally you get all sorts of debuffs on you from vulnerability and whatnot, and they give you willpower heal, so you can also block opponent a bit. Now she has kinetic reactor on her and I have Plagued Mind, which did ruin the fight a bit for me because it took away all my power just before I got level 2. But nonetheless, minute and a half, a linked 87k Invisible Woman goes down in front of Nick Fury. We finally got our revenge from the last war where I failed and accidentally ate a combo from her. And that is about it for this war. A really cool war, interesting. Heart was beating fast a couple of moments over there, and I definitely did enjoy it. Now, the war technically is not over yet. As we can see, there's still a while left. It's going to finish later today. However, we do have a fairly substantial lead at this point, and I am confident that we will end up winning this one. And yeah, super happy about this war. Lucky/happy and all that worked out quite well today for me. But that will do for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know. Leave a comment, drop a like, share it with your friends, so on and so forth. And I will gladly see you back on the channel with the next upload. See ya.